In Taiwan, we're encouraged by the many stories that contribute and showcase progress towards building a better future for generations to come. It is our honor to bring them to you through the eyes of Standard Chartered.
Hi, Marina.
Hi, Ian.
Hi, nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. This is amazing, actually, coming here. Look at this.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of what we have been able to achieve this century over the past 4 years of work.
Yes. I think it's a huge achievement, isn't it? And you read so much about it, right, with the government commitments and 2050 and the likes. To actually come here and see it in operation and what's happening, I think it's a real privilege.
Yes, yes. And for us, it's really, it's a really long journey we have come through. We started with PowerPoints, right? We started with contracts, with paper, and now you see everything live in front of you. And for example, this yard, this is the world's single tallest building for foundation fabrication, 106 meters tall, where all our jackets are coming out one by one from this yard.
And then they go to here, they get loaded onto the vessel, right, and out to sea, then to be positioned. I think it's really interesting because, you know, when you see the wind turbines out at sea, you don't really appreciate their size. You also don't appreciate the complexity and the technology that goes in, right, to building them and then actually stationing them and bringing them on live onto the grid.
Well, as we are talking, you could hear all the background noise, and the reason being that it's all centuries still reclaiming the sea, and where we're standing on right now, it was a sea. So it is just unbelievably difficult to get everything up and running from nothing.
Getting to the point where you've got the capabilities onshore here, it's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
How did you kind of get to that?
We came from Century's office.
Yeah.
We have a group of 6 specialists stationed in the office. They are in health and safety, they are in document control, they are in production, they are also in welding. So we have our client's representative who has a 35-year track record in welding to handhold Century. We really handhold them and stand shoulder to shoulder with them. You could easily say, this is not the job of the project owner. You know, we are the owner. We could just say, do it. But no, we didn't. We didn't. We take a very different approach than what we did in Europe. We are here all the time with them.
Yes. How about the blades and manufacturing the blades here? I think I'd read that you're manufacturing the first 85-meter blade here in Taiwan in April, which is amazing.
Yes. Blade is also very different because here in this facility in Century, there are about 600 welders working. And there are about 200 colleagues sitting in the office. So 800 people.
It's a big operation.
It's massive.
Actually.
Yeah, for Tianli, 400 technicians to do it layer by layer by hand.
Wow.
So it will be a great honor to invite Standard Chartered to visit the blade factory sometime very soon.
Yeah, I'd love to come and see it because I understand 85 meters, 26 stories, right? Which is just absolutely huge. And this is a piece of technology that's got to be mounted and then it's going to turn with the wind to generate the power.
Yes.
So actually to physically see it, I'd love to come and visit, so that would be great.
Now I would like to show you something more.
Perfect.
Let's move.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what's amazing is how big these jackets are, right? When you stand underneath. I'm looking forward at some point to be able to go out and see these when they're actually out at sea and operating. But I think there's a lot of technology, Marina, right, in the wind sector in terms of once you put the constructions out at sea.
Yeah, because we want to ensure that the availability and the reliability of the turbine, the whole wind farm, is at its absolute best level so that we can ensure a stable power supply to Taiwan.
Yes.
For Zhangfang Xidao, it will power more than 650 households. So we wanted to make sure that the green energy are stable and are constantly coming.
So this is 650,000 households,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You may have some thoughts around how the private sector is able to source green energy here in Taiwan. What are some of your thoughts around that?
Actually, it takes many parties to make it happen. First of all, we need to have a robust framework regulation from the government to make both the investors and the financial institutions find this area a good place to invest, to finance, to support. So the government is important.
The other one I was going to ask you about is, and it's a passion of ours, is the supply chain. So greening the supply chain, right? So we look at it, we've done some great innovation. We've not brought it to Taiwan yet, but we will do that, where we look to do effectively green supply chain financing type of programs, where we had seen in some of the surveys we've done, some of the big multinationals have been saying, actually, you know what, by 2025, if their supply chain or the suppliers are not greening their own operations, and it has a direct, meaningful impact on the multinational itself, they will remove suppliers from the supply chain. So one of the things we've been doing is working with multinationals, working with the supply chain to help start to do that transition, right, to a greener supply chain environment, and help provide incentives into the supply chain. So I know here for yourselves, you've got obviously big supply chain. How do you think about that aspect of it?
I think that will be a big challenge, turning a black supply chain to green, for green energy.
For green energy, right? It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's of course costs. So for example, using only green steel to build an offshore wind farm, I have to be very honest, right now it is tough. Therefore, really relying on the bank's support and guidance to our local supply chain to see how they could do it. Right now, we are encouraging our supply chain to do this.
I think the bank's role is encouraging clients and helping clients make the transition. Like you said around steel, right? We all know that steel is carbon intensive to produce, right? It can be greened, it's expensive to do that. How do you do that over time? I think these are real challenges we face. We've had an exciting day so far today. We're out at your manufacturing facility, seeing the huge jackets getting produced and hearing a really compelling story around sustainability and the wind sector. What is the aspiration, ambition of CIP?
We are a fund management company. Actually, this year we celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So we're co-sponsored or co-funded by Pension Denmark, which is the Danish pension, people's pension fund. And it's mostly blue-collar labor going into Pension Denmark, our co-founders. We're not an elite company, but we are everybody's pension. And so with that, what we are dedicated in is only renewable energy investment. We invest only in renewable energy assets, greenfield, brownfield, but it is what we believe in, and we hope that through all these innovative products we have so many different funds. We have 10 funds right now, and one example is Energy Transition Fund. We are probably the only fund manager that has an energy transition fund. It had a hard cap of 3 billion euros, but when we did the fundraising, it's just very easy, And the Energy Transition Fund had closed with very strong success, dedicated for green hydrogen, dedicated for this cutting-edge, constant innovation to bring more renewables, to bring more energy, clean energy into the world. And I think that is our passion. If we could use financing to solve climate problems, then that is something,
and now we're back in our head office here, which is a greener building. So we've got LEED gold certification in our main branch, and we're also seeking similar certification for the main building in the next 6 months. But I think what would be really nice to hear from you is the ESG journey that you as an organization have been on, and perhaps we can get some sharings around that.
We're not just here to build an offshore wind farm. The offshore wind farm will be here for more than 25 years. So we should be very good neighbors to the residents in Zhanghua. That's where our current wind farms are. Both Zhangfang Xidao and Zhongnan wind farms are located in Zhanghua Township. And then Zhanghua County, the coastline is long. So we have dedicated a special fund for the 6 townships that are at the coastline of Zhanghua. Basically, this special fund is to follow the SDG guidelines on SDG 1 and SDG 3 in particular. How do we try to eliminate poverty? How do we try to increase the well-being of the elderly and the youngsters? So to put into some concrete actions, what we did was we invented and created a children's wind energy workshop, teaching children how to build a wind turbine out of recycled materials. And it actually will turn and it will generate electricity. And we are also sponsoring into some yoga classes, some training, physical training classes for the elderly. You know, it started with 2-3 elderly grandparents joining, and then they call all of their friends. And what we do also is that we are having info sessions. Then we call for the residents to share with them what offshore wind is. What is it? What is the positive impact it will bring to the county, to their hometown? And then we always end up with a very good buffet lunch, you know. Nice. So it was always a very good feeling hearing the feedbacks of the locals directly.
It's a really amazing story. It's not just about the wind farm and generating green electricity. It's broader than that. Contributing into the community and sustainability in that fashion along the SDG goals is really, really important. I mean, we do a number of things here at Standard Chartered. I mean, we have our Big Future Makers program where we basically support underprivileged youths in the community, disadvantaged youths, visually impaired. I think we've supported somewhere in the region of 1,300 youth so far on the program to learn, earn and grow as one of our mottos. And we continue to support that. We have visually impaired who work within the bank in our call center. And I think that, again, these are all the things where you can contribute to society. And so I think that there's many things you can do beyond just kind of what I would call, I don't know, running your business. Things are changing all the time. Banking's changing, right? It's becoming more digital in nature. So, you know, how do we provide the right training to people as their careers may change over time? So I think there's lots of different things that are going on. When you initially started the project, and now what you've put in terms of the community support, what's the reception been?
First info session I had with the locals was 4.5 years ago. And that time they were a little bit skeptical. But now, whenever we go, people embrace us. People really do embrace us. Our dedication goes into all the people living at the coastal townships. There are 6 different coastal townships. So it goes deep into their lives, even to the farmers, the young farmers going back to Zhanghua, trying to get their business going. We support them with our fund. And for the teachers who are in need of more teaching materials to train the students, we provide them with the funding. We provide them with the furniture of the school. So it's in every aspect that we could do to grow with them. So it is something new for the people in Zhanghua, and we've been super grateful that they are embracing us, they are welcoming us. So whenever we go now with our company car, and they will, oh, CIP is coming. CIP is coming.
So I often say to myself, you know, broadening the awareness and getting the people's buy-in to what you're doing, like what you're doing in the community around CIP and how you can engage with them, so that effectively you're operating as one, not as 2 separate entities in many ways. I think it's super important to hear that. And then longer term, we've said, look, by 2050, we want to be net zero, right? And we've made a series of commitments by 2030 to say, look, you know, in order to make that transition with our clients, and you talked about transition, financing and investment, that's a big area for us because we need to support our clients make the transition to net zero for us as an organisation to be net zero. I think that a lot is being done, but it's not being done fast enough today. I have to say, I've learned so much from you in terms of the wind industry, green energy, your ESG ambitions, your global ambitions, and I know you spent the whole day with us. So it's been a fantastic experience and an amazing learning.
Well, Ian, I cannot thank you enough for inviting me, and I really sincerely thank Standard Chartered. It is a very inspiring day for me. I'm super impressed by Standard Chartered's initiation, drive, ambition towards a sustainable future, and also how you take actions into how you govern the company. Actually, it's really, I've learned so much.
Thank you. I think you've been very kind in your words, and again, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to doing many things with you in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We've set long-term aspirations to tackle the severe impacts of climate change, stark inequality, and unfair aspects of globalization that impact everyone and the planet. And we're integrating sustainability into all our decision-making across our business, operations, and communities as we seek to accelerate the transition towards net zero. This is a big task, and we know we can't do it alone. We must all act together and do what we can.